students, hope you all are doing well. In our previous video we have discussed about how platelets are formed over the damaged area. At very first, tissues are damaged, and from the damaged tissue von Willebrand factors are releasing, and this von Willebrand factors are sticky in nature. It gets pasted over the exposed collagen, and though it is sticky in nature, it sticks with platelets. The combination of platelet with non-platelet agent is called platelet adhesion. Then this attachment is called platelet adhesion. After that, platelets releasing is factors like it releases granules like alpha granules, beta granules, delta granules, etc. And the platelet aggregating agents we have discussed in our previous video. And after that, more platelet comes over here and attached one platelet to another, and ultimately a platelet plug is formed. This loose platelet and initial platelet plug is called primary hemostatic plug. Okay, and in this formation the primary platelet plug is formed, and in this formation calcium and vitamin K also plays its very important role, because calcium activates the coagulation factors to activate the other factors, and vitamin K also activates the factors to activate another factor for coagulation. In this way, calcium and vitamin K perform its role for coagulation and platelet aggregation. Now, what happened after that? Fibrin strands are formed over here, and ultimately this plug is getting tight. This plug is getting tight, and after getting tight, this plug is called secondary hemostatic plug. But the way how secondary hemostatic plug is formed, we have to discuss now. There is a two pathway. The formation of secondary hemostatic plug. The first pathway is intrinsic pathway. Intrinsic factor or extrinsic factor. Okay. At very first, primary hemostatic plug is formed, then fibrins are formed over here, and it makes the strong plug, and it forms secondary hemostatic plug. But the formation of secondary hemostatic plug follows two pathways, intrinsic pathway and extrinsic pathway. What is intrinsic factor? Intrinsic factor is nothing but it is a factor when blood doesn't require any additional substance to coagulate. Suppose I'm taking my blood from my vein and I put it in a fresh vessel or washed vessel, and what I have seen that after some time blood is coagulated. What does it mean? It means blood doesn't require any additional substance to coagulate. This is called intrinsic factor. And what is extrinsic factor? Extrinsic are those factors which initiates by some tissue factor. When we put some tissue factor inside the intrinsic factor, extrinsic factor converts into intrinsic, and it initiates the coagulation factor. In this way, we can distinguish between these two pathways or these two factors. Now we will discuss about the intrinsic pathway. What is intrinsic pathway? We all know that platelets releasing some granules, that is alpha granules, and alpha granules contain some coagulation factor. It also contains platelet derived growth factor. It also contains some platelet aggregating agent. These factors, coagulation factors, comes in contact with damaged tissue, as well as our liver also releasing some coagulation factor. This is suppose our liver, and it is continuously releasing some coagulation factor. Now, how coagulation factors are activated? Suppose this is factor number 12. Okay, as soon as it comes in contact with the damaged platelet or damaged endothelial tissue, it gets activated. Factor number 12 becomes activated factor number 12. Okay, when factor number 12 comes in contact with damaged tissue, it becomes activated factor number 12, and this activated factor number 12 activates the factor 11. Okay, this activates the factor 11, and this factor 11 becomes activated factor number 11. It becomes activated factor 11. Now this activated factor 11 activates the factor 9. Okay, and it becomes activated factor number 9. Activated factor 9. After that, what happened? Factor 9 activates the factor 10. It activates the factor 10 and it becomes activated factor 10. This factor number 9 activates the factor number 10 in the presence of phospholipid, calcium, and factor number 8. Phospholipid, calcium, and factor number 8. So, I hope you understand that how factors are activating one another. Factor number 12 becomes activated factor number 12 when it comes in contact with damaged tissue. Now factor number 12 activates the factor number 11 and it becomes activated factor number 11. Now 11 activates the 9 and it becomes activated 9. Then factor number 9 activates the factor number 10 in the presence of phospholipid, calcium, and factor number 8. Now what happened? Factor number 10, activated factor number 10 activates the prothrombin. It activates the prothrombin to thrombin. It activates the factor prothrombin to thrombin in the presence of phospholipid, calcium, and factor number 8. Phospholipid, calcium, and factor number 8. Now what is the function of this thrombin? Activated factor number 10 activates the prothrombin into thrombin in the presence of phospholipid, calcium, and factor number 8. Now what is the function of thrombin? Thrombin converts the fibrinogen into fibrinogen monomers. It converts the fibrinogen into its monomers. Okay, fibrinogen monomers, and it get deposit over here. All the monomers are deposit over here. Okay, and it tightly packed the plug. Okay, now what happened? Thrombin on one side produces fibrinogen monomers, but on the other side thrombin also activates the tissue stabilizing factor, that is factor number 13. It activates the factor number 13, that is tissue stabilizing factor, and this factor rush over here. It also rush over here and forms a cross-linked, and it get cross-linked with the fibrinogen and tightly pack this plug. Okay, and in this way secondary hemostatic plug is formed. Secondary hemostatic, this is secondary hemostatic plug. Secondary hemostatic plug. So this is the pathway, how intrinsic pathway is working. 12 becomes activated 12, it activates 11, 11 becomes activated 11, it activates 9, 9 becomes activated 9, and in the presence of phospholipid, calcium, and 8, it activates 10, 10 becomes activated 10, and this activated 10 activates the prothrombin to thrombin, and thrombin releases a network-like structure over the platelets, and as well as it stimulates the factor number 13 or tissue stabilizing factors, which cross-link with the thrombin over the platelets, and it tightly pack the platelet plug and forms the secondary hemostatic plug. Now we'll talk about the extrinsic factor, how an extrinsic factor perform its pathway. Now I have told you that extrinsic factor needs some tissue factor to activate itself, and tissue factors are releasing from the damaged tissue. Okay, damaged tissue are releasing tissue factor, and this tissue factor activates the or push or poke the extrinsic factor to activate, and factor number 8 is activated, becomes activated factor number 8, and this activated factor number 8 activates the factor number 9 and activates the factor number 10. It directly activates the factor number 9 and factor number 10. This is short pathway. It directly activates the factor number 9 and as well as factor number 10. In this way, extrinsic pathway perform its role, and in this way, extrinsic and intrinsic pathway helps in formation of secondary hemostatic plug. This secondary hemostatic plug inside the vascular system is called thrombus, and when it is formed outside the vascular system, outside the vascular tissue, it is called clot.